For over 40 years, one man deceived Wall Street, the US government, the world's richest families, and thousands of ordinary people who trusted him with everything they had. He wasn't a shadowy criminal hiding in the dark. He was the king of the markets, praised as a genius, honored as a pioneer, and welcomed into the inner circle of global finance. But behind the polished reputation, behind the perfectly tailored suits, behind the calm, grandfatherly smile, was the architect of the biggest financial lie in human history. This is not just a story about money. It's a story about power, psychology, manipulation, and how one man built an empire of trust only to weaponize it against the world. Over the next 4 episodes, we're going to strip away the mask, unlock the secret floor where the fraud lived, expose the warnings no one listened to, and reveal how the greatest financial empire of the modern era collapsed under its own weight. And trust me, once you see how deep this goes, you'll never look at your bank statement the same way again. Stay with this series from start to finish, because the truth behind Bernie Madoff isn't just shocking, it's a warning that remains relevant today. For decades, Bernie Madoff would become a name whispered in awe, fear, and disbelief. But long before Wall Street knew his name, he was a boy in Queens, watching his father's dreams crumble. Ralph Madoff ran a small accounting and brokerage business. Modest, careful, but fragile. Regulators closed it, clients left, and the family felt the sting of failure. Young Bernie observed it all, how trust can be earned and how easily it can be shattered. That lesson would fuel him for the rest of his life. Even as a teenager, Bernie was no ordinary student. Numbers fascinated him. Patterns, probability, and strategy weren't just subjects, they were weapons. While his classmates worried about grades, Bernie was learning the rules of a game he intended to master, the game of human trust. Early career? By 22, Bernie had saved $5,000, enough to start Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities. The firm was small and focused on market making. His first clients were friends, family, and business acquaintances from Queens, ordinary people who trusted him personally. These early successes were more than profits, they were experiments. Bernie studied human behavior. Who asks questions, who trusts blindly, who dreams too big. These lessons would later become the foundation of a financial empire built on illusion. And illusion was the first step. What began as a few trusted accounts and modest sums would, decades later, balloon into a scheme that stole over $65 billion, devastating not just individuals, but banks, charitable foundations, hedge funds, and even investors overseas. Celebrities, wealthy families, and institutions alike would place their trust in him and lose everything. Psychology of control. Bernie Madoff didn't just want success, he wanted control. Every handshake, every promise, every ledger he prepared was an exercise in influence. Reputation became his shield. Trust became his weapon. He understood one truth early: people rarely question what they want to believe. And this insight, honed on a small scale with local investors, would later allow him to convince the world's wealthiest families, banks, charities, and even international investors to hand over billions without a single trade ever occurring. Even in these formative years, the dual reality was emerging. One floor for legitimate trading, one floor for secret manipulation. Every client, every dollar, every statement was a brushstroke in a masterpiece of deception, a masterpiece that would grow far beyond imagination. NASDAQ pioneer and chairman. By the late 1970s, Bernie's firm had grown beyond Queens. He became a pioneer of electronic trading, anticipating a future where automation would dominate Wall Street. He embraced technology, speed, and data-driven strategies long before most of his peers. In 1990, Bernie Madoff reached the pinnacle of influence. He became the chairman of NASDAQ, one of the most prestigious roles in finance. He wasn't just respected, he was untouchable. Regulators, investors, and rival firms treated him with reverence. The very system that would later fail to stop him now served as a shield. This prestige, combined with his psychological mastery and early manipulations, allowed Bernie to quietly expand his hidden advisory operation. Behind the accolades, the dual-floor system, legitimate market-making above, secret fabrication below, was quietly taking shape, foreshadowing the global scale. By the time Madoff was a recognized Nasdaq leader, the first whispers of extraordinary wealth were already circulating. Early investors believed in modest, consistent returns. But decades later, those returns would be revealed as a lie, part of a Ponzi scheme that would eventually embezzle over $65 billion, reaching across borders, destroying lives in the US and abroad, affecting banks in Europe and Asia, charitable foundations, hedge funds, and individuals who trusted him implicitly. And it all started here, in Queens, with $5,000, a handful of trusting clients, and a boy who learned that trust could be manipulated and weaponized. Bernie Madoff's rise was only the beginning. Behind the polished persona and high-profile Nasdaq career, the hidden advisory division was quietly taking shape. What the world saw was brilliance and trustworthiness. What few suspected was the empire of deception being built in plain sight. In the next episode, we'll step onto the secret floor where the fraud truly lived. You'll meet the inner circle who ran the operation, see how fake statements and careful manipulation convinced even the wealthiest families, banks, charities, and international investors to hand over billions, and uncover the mechanisms that made Madoff's scheme nearly untouchable. To make sure you don't miss a single revelation from this 4-part series, hit that subscribe button now and turn on the notification bell. Every episode uncovers a new layer of deception, and trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next.